when I say frame, I mean basically take my forearm and shove it into his neck. That's a nice way of saying that, right? Well, I try to keep this at about a 90-degree angle. And then I'm gonna kind of turn myself a little bit, slide back, and I'm gonna bite right at his wrist. You know, like I have a chicken wing. Bark, bark. It helps if you cluck. I'm gonna come under and push on his elbow. I wanna make his elbow bend. And I'm gonna use this pressure of the frame and the ability to control his rotation at the elbow to drive him down to his back. Grab gable grip, you can keep my leg locked. Put my elbows to the ground, and I'm gonna punch my elbows out and kind of move me back to get his arm out of there. Slide and pin his hand to the ground. So one more time. He's here, boom, make the frame, trap, come inside, and look, sometimes, gotta keep that strong, sometimes like my hand isn't enough, but my body movement will make that collapse. Hold on. Gable grip, pop, here. Notice I keep a good base the whole time, my toes are engaged, not letting him come out, take my back, anything like that. You know, I don't wanna over-rotate, I'm not gonna come way out here where he's gonna be able to jump on my back or anything of that nature. Nice hip-to-hip connection. One more time. Comes in, boom, here, pop that open, drive, get him out, pin. Any questions on this? Yeah. Start this way. So it comes up, frame so that he can't get tight to me. Bite, come inside. Now bite's important, otherwise he just keeps going and I don't get inside properly. Bite, get inside. He can tell you my body rotation moves him. And I'm pushing at this elbow, here. Boom, hitting it, coming in. Knee back as I do this. Notice my elbows are on the ground, that's important. Okay. Toes engaged. Oh, my frame. That way he can't get too tight. Turn so I can bite on his wrist and come inside. Here, rotate him to the ground. Grab, pin my elbows to the ground. And I'm gonna push my butt back as I move these hands to the ground. Boom. Pin. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got good base, I'm in half guard. What I wanna do now is I wanna take this hand under, and ideally, I would like grab my own wrist here. But like, look, I have to like choke way up on his arm. Like, watch this. Don't let me straighten your arm. Try to straighten it. Or don't let me bend it. Like, you can keep it straight all day there, right? There's no pressure on it. Like, I need the pressure here. So the question is like, how do we deal with that? Especially from a half guard, where like if I was up here, it's a little easier because I can move. I can move, right? But from a half guard, keep me locked up. It's much harder to make that adjustment. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna rotate my hand over and push in and grab my wrist. Like I'm trying to push his hand up into his armpit. Okay, so one more time. Rotate over, push it up in. And he can tell you there's some pressure on his arm already. All right. Now, when this knee stays planted, I lift my foot and hook his knee. And start walking the other one over. See how my foot is planted? It's kind of like that warm-up we were doing. Pass the guard, and I'm right here. I've kept this arm the whole time. All right. At this point, I can step over like our typical one. I could come all the way over, or if he's defending, we could switch to the arm bar. But for now, we'll just do the basic. Let's turn him this way. Right here, I've got the hand pinned. I want to work my arm under. And I want to get a hold of my wrist. But look, don't just do this. Okay, see how this arm is? It's not very useful, and his arm's still in a pretty strong position. Don't just settle for this. Shove him up in there. Make sure he's up in there hard. Right. Hook his leg. If you remember, this harkens back to our first week in the half guard, where we were hooking the leg to open the legs. But now I'm going to use both legs. I'm gonna plant and open this way too. Lock your guard, please. See, like if I just pry, nothing's happening. So I plant and walk away, and this starts to put pressure. Boom.
Your left knee still on the mat, correct?
Yes, behind me, yeah, for base. Now I kick back to protect my leg. It never enters the guard again. Boom, we're right here. Square up my base because I'm in good position. And now to finish, I'm just gonna turn, step over his head. And at this point, I'm basically just rotating his arm, making him pat himself on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm shoving that arm up in. So this is all real close, so it's easy to get those grips. You're gonna be slightly different. Like typically we're like here, right? Like with the perfect Kimura grip. It's gonna be more like this, shoving it up in. So you're gonna feel a little bend in your wrist and stuff like that, but the angle is really good. It's gonna make it real easy. Let's look at it one more time. So we're here, I get under, boom, shove it up in there. Right there, that's great. Hook, walk. See, pull it to me, push it up. Don't try to do it out here. Be flexible. Pull it to you. Any questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. Past this. So I'm up here doing this kind of stuff, and maybe I don't feel like I can turn and get him. You know what? There a lot of things can be happening, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to shove this hand through. And one of the things I was talking to Kyle about, like he's got really long arms. He should be able to Kimura grip anything, anywhere. But if his arm is stopped by the shoulder, look, I can't get there. So you got to make sure to have your arm on their tricep, my bicep on his tricep. Now I'm going to come through and I'm going to cover just with this hand. All right, boom, like this. I'm going to bring my hand to this side of his body. And right now, can you guys see that his arm is up? I'm going to step past that. I don't want it there. All right, that's easy to fix just by lifting my knee and coming over it, and then I can push it down. All right, so if it's up there, then I just put it down. No big deal. Now I'm going to slide back, and I'm going to slide back until I feel his chin is a backstop on the back of my armpit. That's how low I want to be. Boom. Feel that, Kyle? I'm on your chin. That's what I want. And now I'm simply going to pop my wrist up. My wrist is actively bending as I lift and pull. Okay, it's just the Kimura. It's still the Kimura. I'm just putting more pressure down. And from here, it's just lift his shoulder up, pull his hand under. He's tapping behind me in case you guys don't know. So, let's do it one more time. So we're in here. Boom. It's fine. If it's already down, that's even better. Boom. Grab, single hand. Block the hip. If his arm was in the way, I would step over and kill it first. I can move it down. Feel his chin as a backstop on your armpit. Not in your armpit, behind it. So like I shouldn't be here.
Like your lat, almost.
Yeah.
Like your lat.
Yep. Lift and pull.
I'm sorry, where are you lifting and pulling?
Just like this. This is lifting up as this gets pulled under. All right, let me borrow someone else. Can I borrow you, Josh?
Sir. Where's your right hand when you do that?
It's down by his hip. It's just sitting right here. So, feed this in. We're good. Block the hip. So I'm just putting it on the ground beside his hip, right where his belt is. Slide back, back, back. Notice I'm like almost north-south with him. I'm not up here chest to chest. You're gonna feel like you need to be. You do not. Boom. Lift his shoulder. And the reason I'm using Josh is I know he's a little bit more flexible. Lift his shoulder, pull it up. Questions on that? All right, 1, 2, 3. And I slid down, and I've used his chin as a backstop. And this arm's down already because I killed it down. And you can even use your hand here to make sure. Let's imagine for a second though that like my arms were short or my grip was bad or whatever, and he popped his arm off of this. Not a problem. It's going to come out and under his neck. All right? Once I go under, so when I scoop under initially, my hand is down, like this. As I scoot under there, though, I'm going to turn it. So it's going to go here just so that it's easy to get the hand below the neck. But then it's going to turn like this. And what that does is, I don't know, the width of my wrist here is, we'll say, what, 1.5 inches. When I do this, now it's 2.5. Does that make sense? And I've got baby wrists. So if you've got big wrists, it's going to be really big. And what this does is it takes his neck from being like this on the ground and pops it up. And that's useful to us. So, boom, I lost the grip. I came under and I sink back. And I'm focusing on getting my bicep right up against his neck. And the next thing I'm going to do here is keep his arm down. And this is what I see everybody miss when they try this move. And they miss the technique a lot because of it. I'm going to scoot north-south, and I'm going to put my head to the ground and S-grip my hands together. Now I'm focusing on two pressures. One is a pulling pressure. I'm pulling in. And the second one is a pushing down pressure. I'm pushing my bicep toward the ground. And to help me with that, I just engage my toes and I squeeze. It doesn't look like I do a damn thing. And I'm sorry. But all I'm doing is coming in, grabbing. I'm focusing on pulling in as tight as I can. It's not going to be very tight. Like, you don't want to sacrifice the pressure at the side of the neck just to get your arm in. Because if you do that, then then I'll be framed and I have all this space that I can't push down into. So it's going to be here. And I just pull and squeeze and close that space off. You'll watch and you'll see everybody doing this and like trying to circle. The guy just circles with them. It's a waste of time. Keep his body down. Put your head to the ground so he can't circle. And now just squeeze. And sometimes to get more pressure, I just lift my butt so that my hips, my weight can go down into him. And you're going to feel like you don't have anything. Notice that he wasn't immediately like, oh God, stop, stop. It takes a second. You're really only cutting off half of the head, so it takes a little bit longer than your normal choke. So, shoved this up in. I was trying this bad boy. Came in and I'm like, ugh, and he pops out. No problem. Go under. All right, boom. Circle back. You're gonna feel your it's technically a tendon right here. It's a tendon that goes from the chest all to its insertion point, but it's gonna go right down into his neck. So head goes down, grip, squeeze. You're gonna choke him out. It's called the north-south choke.
So you always want that S grip, or do you
Sometimes I
want,
do this.
like normal guillotine?
Whatever you feel you need to do. Whatever feels strong to you. As long as you don't turn your wrist when you do it. You know what I mean? Like even when I do my S grip, it's more of like a,
You want to keep it up like that.
yeah, you want to keep it like you're holding a cup of coffee.
Gotcha.
You don't want to spill your coffee. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Unheard of.
Awesome. 1, 2,